guys a couple of things about Listing Booster. The first one is that we just changed how we get our feeds. So we're now updating on the hour. So when you get a new listing and it goes into your multiple listing system, we're gonna have that sucker updated, ready to go, not only the same day, but the same part of your day, which is great. We updated our homepage on Listing Booster as we're going through and just doing a complete reface of the product. Do you know that we're helping over 18,000 real estate agents right now? Do you know that Listing Booster has generated over 1 million leads off the listings that you have? But unlike other systems or other companies, we only give the leads to the person or the agent who generated that off of their listing. We don't sell them off, it doesn't go to your competition, and it doesn't cost you thousands of dollars. Yes, this thing works for pennies on the dollar. You should really look into it no matter who you are. All you have to do is text BOOSTER, B-O-O-S-T-E-R, to 33655. On with the show. I actually want to say thanks this time to my Solano County people. I did a speaking gig in my own backyard and it was actually kind of fun. Had a lot of agents there. Thank you, new viewers. Hey, you know, one thing that people are not talking about is, my question to you, is lending going to get more difficult? Yes, is lending going to get more difficult? Don't know how short your memory is, but we've been on something of a vacation as of late. Things have been pretty damn easy for the past couple of years. Nobody is looking over their shoulders wondering if there's an enforcement action that is going to come down and find them or that company into non-existence. Except Wells Fargo. I mean, Mick Mulvaney of the CFPB is doing nothing. He's doing nothing at all. And I gotta tell you, that's a far cry from his predecessor, a guy who'd make Ivan the Terrible blush. His name would be Richard Cordray. Now, Trump has knocked back regulations, and that's a good thing for us. Well, guess what? Guess what? Of our sabbatical or vacation over the past couple of years, it might change because Maxine Waters is set to run the House Financial Services Committee and Nancy Pelosi is going to get the gavel of the House. Now, in case you don't know, those are two elected officials, I'm ashamed to say actually, from my home state of California that think more regulation, which equals more cost, more time on your files, and more, particularly for low-income and underserved communities, fewer opportunities to get financing to own your own home. Now, is that a good thing for house reform to have? Fewer underserved communities getting financing or it being more expensive? I don't think so. But they're coming back, you see, and I have no doubt they're going to try to roll back what Trump's administration has rolled back in housing. Now, I really honestly don't want to talk about politics. I just want to talk about the future of housing. Now, there is a pro-growth, low-cost model, and then there's, the other one. Now, are you concerned that we're going to go back to the dark ages in mortgage lending, and how will that affect your career? Real estate agent or lender, or homeowner, or aspiring homeowner. For instance, I'll give you an example. The Consumer Bankers Association president, Steve Hunt, said, I wonder who's going to be in her crosshairs, that being Maxine Waters. It's hardly an endorsement for moderation in housing. And The Hill says Waters will attempt to rebuild the post-financial crisis bank rules dismantled by the Republicans and defend the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau from attempts to rein it in, aka going back to the bad old days. And to further prove my point, Maxine Waters herself said, for the last 2 years, Republicans in Congress have served as accomplices to Trump and have completely neglected Congress's oversight responsibilities, enabling corrupt and destructive policies to run rampant. And this would be in housing. All those things that have made mortgages easier for everybody to get, including the people she says she wants to protect the most. I'm only talking about housing. And those destructive policies that she's talking about has seen lending increase to underserved communities, has seen our GDP grow far beyond anything over the past 8 years, and has seen more mortgage companies vying for more business, which is going to create competition and get your borrowers a better deal. Though the number of mortgage lenders is a paltry number of what it should be as a result of the policies I'm talking about. Now the point is this. It doesn't matter if you're a Republican or a Democrat or what your political persuasions are. We're talking about housing. I want pro-housing advocates that make things cheaper and easier. Make your own decisions. After the meltdown, we saw, and rightfully so, a deep national desire to rein in the greed-based policies that helped create the global catastrophe. Yet in our fervor to change our policies, they pushed too far. It's one thing to exact a pound of flesh from mortgage companies because you believe they caused you your problems. But when that pound of flesh hurts your and your neighbor's ability to get the best possible long-term mortgage financing terms, and only then is it offered to the very, very few, well, then our policies that were intended to help us actually hurt us. That's what we did before, and we do not need to go back to it. Now, do you think I'm wrong? At the height of the enforcement under the Corduroy CFPB, and when Maxine Waters and Nancy Pelosi had the gavel and had the House Financial Services Committee, the average credit score for a Fannie or Freddie borrower, the average, was over a 750. That's neither sustainable nor fair. We have brought back some level of reasonability, but with the old guard back in the game, things could change, and not for the better. And if you look at real estate forecasters, it may come at a time when we can least afford it. Now, I've got to say this on a personal note. Outside of that, Maxine Waters and Nancy Pelosi are always great at putting their foot in their mouth. And since I write about policymakers in the mortgage and real estate space for a living, I'm kind of excited about what's to come. But you shouldn't be.